I'm the director of the Mercy MS Center, and I also have a very large number of patients with Parkinson's disease. So both of these are very familiar to me and very close to me because that's what neurologists do. Very large numbers of MS and Parkinson's disease. MS and Parkinson's are very different from one another in terms of what we think is going on in the brain. Multiple sclerosis is a condition in which the immune system attacks the insulating material on the nerves within the brain and the spinal cord. And Parkinson's disease is a condition in which there's just a slow, gradual loss, death of particular kinds of nerve centers in the brain and the parts of the brain that control movements. They have a lot in common, though, in that they're both long-term disorders that people have for years, and both of them really screw up people's lives in different ways, but not only the lives of the people who have them, but family members and those around them. For neither one of these do we entirely know the cause. We don't have any cures for either of them. For both of them, we have developed treatments that can help to some degree. You might say take the edge off from some of the problems with both multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease, but we're still a long way from being able to say that we're not concerned about these anymore. Multiple sclerosis tends to begin in younger people. Kids and even teenagers can occasionally have the first signs of MS, but most commonly people get it in their 30s and 40s, which is what? You know, time of life when you're starting your family, getting established in careers, starting accomplishments. I think one of the most difficult things about MS is its unpredictability. There's some people that do very well with it, particularly with treatments that we have now, where it's an annoyance but doesn't completely stop them in the tracks. But then there's others that are quite severely disabled by it, or at least enough that you can't work, you can't raise your family. And particularly in early stages of MS, there are these attacks that people have, so that the unpredictability of, you know, I'm okay today and I'm going to work and I'm accomplishing something and I've got this meeting tonight and this project that I'm working on, but am I going to be able to do this next week or next month or next year? You just don't know. Parkinson's disease may start in people in midlife. We do see people in their 40s or 50s that have the first symptoms of Parkinson's disease, but by and large, it begins in later years. 50s, 60s, 70s are when people show up with the signs and the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. And what? That's the time of life when you're finishing up your career, you'd like to retire and enjoy the benefits of all the good things you've done through your life, but this may interfere, may make it not possible. Like MS, it can affect different people in a lot of different ways. It can be mildly disabling to some, but more severely disabling to others. The one thing we know about it, different than with multiple sclerosis, is that we know what's going to happen to it over time and that it gets worse. It progresses. Unlike MS, where somebody can have a bad attack today and be normal 6 months from now, Parkinson's doesn't go away. But the rate at which it progresses and how it progresses, whether it's tremor or difficulty walking or even cognitive functions, being able to interact with family, it does tend to progress. We do have treatments for both of these, and the treatments have in the case of multiple sclerosis, decreased the chances of having more attacks or getting worse. And in Parkinson's disease, we can control a lot of the symptoms, make them better with medications and with stimulators, some surgical procedures like Annika showed. But with neither one of them can we cure it or stop it in its tracks. What concerns me is that these developments were really the blockbuster breakthroughs, both in multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's, were done, as long as 15, 20 years ago. In the last 5 years, or even 10 years, I don't think we've seen the same degree of breakthroughs. And we really need that. We need the breakthroughs of understanding why these things happen and how we can prevent them from happening, how we can fix the damage that they've caused, and how we can cure them so that they're not a problem. What worries me is that the emphasis on science and the ability to do the research that's going to be necessary to get to these breakthroughs is becoming more difficult. Just like everything else in the economy, there's less money to spend on research. I've seen the figures on how many doctors we're going to need in another 5 years and 10 years compared to how many we have, or how many we're expecting, or how many are in training, and it's frightening, it's terrifying. I'm going to have to work till I'm 115, because there's not people coming along to replace me. And so we really need to support the research into understanding these. And I think it's really amazing that I've been a member of the American Academy of Neurology for almost 40 years, and I'm a supporter of the foundation, and I had no idea that there were events like this that you've put together. What the American Academy of Neurology Foundation does is provides research for students and for residents and fellows who are receiving their training to do research like this. And it's becoming, as I say, increasingly important. There's been a big drive in the Academy of Neurology in recent years to support this effort, because we so badly need the people and the training that it's going to take to combat these. So I think this is an amazing and wonderful thing you're doing. I first heard about this a week ago when Marissa contacted me through the American Academy of Neurology, and I'm glad this worked out so well.